What a weekend it was to close out the college football regular season for our local teams. Grambling State, ULM, and Louisiana Tech all in action yesterday, and all three of them with still everything to play for. For Tech, a win meant a chance at clinching the Western Division title and a spot in this year's Conference USA Championship game. Now, while the Dogs were able to take care of business against UTSA, winning 41-27, unfortunately for them, UAB were also winners. And since the Dragons won that head-to-head matchup against Tech earlier this season, they own the tiebreaker over Louisiana Tech, and so it's going to be UAB representing the West in this year's conference title game and not the Dogs. Meanwhile, ULM began yesterday just one win shy of being bowl eligible. The only thing standing in their way was rival ULL, and it was heartbreak again for the Warhawks. They are down one with 6 seconds left, marched out the kicking unit, and then that happened. Shanked wide left, no good. Making matters worse for ULM, they were only down one because they missed a point after attempt just about 4 minutes earlier. And speaking of trouble off the tee, special teams bringing a special type of heartache to Grambling State fans yesterday as well. They were down 2 late to Southern in the Bayou Classic. The Tigers sent out their kicking unit for the potential game winner, and then that happened. And making it worse, the winner of that game actually won the West Division title, which means the Jags are headed to this year's SWAC championship game, and GSU is left headed home empty-handed. Well, the Saints and Cowboys had games on Thursday night, but let's go coast to coast to get you caught up on all of today's action from around the league. Kicking things off with the game of the day, Ravens at home against the 49ers, two of the top teams in the league, tied up late. Baltimore sending out their kicking unit, and finally a kicker can make something happen right there. Justin Tucker sends it through from 49 yards out as time expires, and the Ravens win their 8th straight, 20-17, the final. Aaron Rodgers and the Pack on the road in New York. A little play action early on in this one for Rodgers. He finds Allen Lazard right here from 37 yards out for one of his 4 touchdowns on the day. Green Bay gets the win there, 31-13. Shocker here in Miami. The Dolphins taking on Philadelphia. Eagles down late, needing a miracle. Carson Wentz hucks one to the end zone, but it gets picked off, and the Dolphins pick up their 3rd win of the season, 37-31. Bucks and Jags going at it. Huge game for former LSU star Devin White. He had 7 tackles, an interception, and he had this fumble recovery, which he would take to the house for 6. Tampa takes it 28-11. And speaking of former Tigers, a big day over here as well for former Tiger. It's going to be the Redskins and Panthers going at it. And this might be remembered as the Darius Geis breakout game. 129 yards on the ground, 2 scores. Washington officially on a win streak, 29-21. Andy Dalton back under center for the winless Bengals. Cincy taking it to the Jets as Dalton finds the end zone right there. And the Bengals get their first win of the season, 22-6. I really don't want to talk about this game as a Colts fan, but we're going to do it anyway, take on the Titans. My Colts had a 10-point lead, but stop me if you've heard this before. Special teams continue to look very difficult for us. Field goal attempt gets blocked. They return it the other way for the score. Tennessee gets the come-from-behind win, 31-17. Browns and Steelers fighting it out one more time. Cleveland down 7 late. Baker Mayfield thrown to the right side, and he gets picked off right there. Pittsburgh gets their revenge, 20-13. Rams on the road in Arizona, and LA finding their rhythm on offense finally. Jared Goff with 2 easy scores on the day, including this one right here. The Rams roll to the win, 34-7. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs taking on the Raiders. This was a no contest. The reigning MVP drops back, decides to tuck it and run. Dustin for Prince. He was never touched on this thing. Kansas City with a beatdown, 40-9 your final there. New week, same old Chargers as they find ways to lose games. They were going to tie game up here with 9 seconds left. Broncos really not in a position to do anything. They huck one up, and then L.A. gets called for the 37-yard pass interference. That would set up the walk-off field goal, and Denver escapes with the win, 23-20. Last one, Patriots and Texans going at a little Sunday night football. Houston making a statement in this one. Deshaun Watson accounted for 4 touchdowns, including this touchdown pass to Duke Johnson right there, and the Texans get the win, 28-22 your final. That is going to be it for sports. We'll have one last look at your forecast coming up next.